Hi everyone, welcome to the Postpartum Series. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get started. The purpose of Core Restore is to do just that, restoring the inner core, which is made up of the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, multifidus muscles, which are small muscles that surround the spine, giving your back support, as well as the transverse abdominis, which are the deeper layers of abdominal muscle that I want you to think of surrounding your core like a corset. All of these muscles kind of work together, making up the core. Whether you're 2 days postpartum or 20 years postpartum, training the core can be very beneficial for many different reasons. It can help support low back pain. It can help with abdominal separation, as well as a very common symptom, leaking urine, when you're running, jumping, coughing, sneezing, exerting any sort of force. This can be helpful for those specific reasons. Something important that I just want to make a note of is that while we are using this practice during our intentional movement, our exercise, working out, it's something that I also want you to take beyond the mat. I want you to incorporate it into your daily movements. Think picking up the groceries, bringing in heavy packages, picking up your children, car seats, strollers, whatever that might look like for you. You can even do this while sitting on the couch. It can go with you anywhere, and it's a really versatile exercise. And again, something that you're not even just gonna be incorporating right now during this postpartum season, but in life beyond. So we're gonna begin by practicing the breathing technique in a seated position. You can do this on the ground, you can do this in a chair, you can also do this on a yoga ball, whatever is best for you. So I'm gonna bring myself down to a seated position. A couple cues that I'm gonna go through my mental checklist is I want to pull the flesh away to ground the sits bones. So I wanna make sure that I'm grounded into the mat. And I also wanna make sure that my posture is soft but tall. So I don't want you to think so rigid, but just keep it soft and tall and comfortable. From here, you can either opt to close your eyes and just listen to my voice, or of course, follow along. What I'd like to do next is to just take a couple breaths, breathing as you naturally would, and just be mindful for a moment, breathing in through the nose and exhaling, being mindful of the belly as it rises and falls, as well as the rib cage as it expands and contracts. On your next breath, we're gonna bring one hand to the rib cage and one hand to the belly. Again, just giving ourselves a moment to be mindful of the breath. Next, we're gonna be moving into the core 4 breathing. You can either opt to keep the hands at the ribs as well as the belly, or you can bring them to the side, whatever is best for you. We can move through a couple different visualization techniques, some of which may help you visualize what the core should be doing during these movements. My personal favorite is the vacuum pack food saver visualization. So I imagine that if you've ever seen one, the food goes into the bag is filled with air, you hook it up to the vacuum pack food saver, and then it kind of takes all the air out, all right? So I want you to imagine that your core is this bag of food, all right? And then as you inhale, that food is being added to the bag, there's air in the bag, and as you exhale, you're letting all of the air out and really vacuum packing that food. As you do that, I want you to also imagine that you're drawing the pelvic floor upwards, okay? And that's gonna be one round of your core breath. Another method that people tend to use is visualizing the pelvis. As you inhale, it expands, and as you exhale, you're pulling it together. Another visualization technique, and one that might be helpful if you do have a yoga ball in your house, some people like to opt to sitting on a yoga ball because of its rounded surface, it kind of conforms to the body. And it basically gives you feedback. What I mean by feedback is that because it presses up against the perineum, you can kind of feel whether or not you're contracting those muscles. So as you would inhale, you would imagine expanding, and then as you exhale, you would let all the air come out, pull the pelvic floor upwards, and almost imagine that your body is trying to pick up the ball as you're sitting on it. There are so many different visualization methods. Find which one works best for you and stick with it, again, on your mat practicing as well as beyond. So from here, in this seated position, posture tall and soft, we're gonna go through 10 breaths. Breathing in through the nose, filling the body, the diaphragm, everything with air, and exhaling, contract and connect to the core. Let's go again. Bring it in. Expand and exhale. Good. Bring it in. Expand and exhale. Drawing the pelvic floor upwards, vacuum packing those abs. Bring it in. For the next 5 breaths, you can move at your own pace, inhaling, lifting the pelvic floor as you exhale. Again, at your own pace, breathing and connecting. And if you don't feel connected to the core right away, it's okay. Sometimes it just takes some time. Let's go, last breath. On your next breath, what I'd like for you to do is take a nice big inhale and exhale. I want you to contract those muscles that we talked about. And on your next inhale, I want you to continue to contract, breathing in but staying contracted. And hang with me like this for about 5 breaths. Good, working at your own pace. And if you happen to, let the muscles go or whatever it might be, just get right back into it. You did such an amazing job. You should feel so proud. Take it slow, get some rest. I will see you back here next time.